Hi there. My name is Molly Fast, and I'm a fundraising strategist here at Event 360. And for more than 20 years, I've been dedicating my career to fundraising, and the biggest part of my success has really come in the relationships that I have built and developed and cultivated, both kind of internally and externally. Really, this translates for me really to like reaching out to our event participants without asking them to do anything, right? There is no call to action. There is no register, make a self donation, update your page, recruit people to your team, show up on the event. It is none of that. This cultivating really is our opportunity to make sure that the participant feels like a person and not a participant, right? And I think in our world of event planning and production and fundraising, it's really important to make sure that the relationships that we have with our participants go far beyond the boundaries of just the event and the event season. And so, in our few minutes for our shorts today, I wanted to share a few pieces, a few tools, if you will, that I use to kind of cultivate the relationships. But first, I also want to talk a little bit about like what are some examples of how you could cultivate a relationship with participants that has nothing to do with the event. I think about how many participants are drawn to our events because of their connection to the cause, right? Like usually they themselves have something or someone they love has been impacted by the cause that we represent. So I think about like myself. I got started in this work because my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm very grateful she is still with us. She is healthy and doing well. 26 years after her diagnosis. But that date, right, is something that has stuck with me. I continued to do this work because I lost my father at the age of 55 to esophageal cancer. So Father's Day is hard for me, right? His birthday is hard. The day he died is hard. Now, if I'm really a part of an organization and they know these things about me, it would be super meaningful if I heard from this organization, from like my main contact on Father's Day, right? Like, how sweet would that be to just receive a text from my coach, if you will, my main point of contact, to just say, I'm sure that this is a sad day for you. I'm thinking about your dad, and I'm so inspired by the work that you do in honor of him. So that's one thing, right? But if you have a key participant, your top fundraiser, when is their birthday? Like that is information that you should definitely know. And again, like if you're doing an event where, let's say, they were diagnosed with cancer or um, someone they know died, like you should know what those dates are and you should be putting them on a calendar so that you can reach out to them, right? On those days that would be a little more difficult, or those dates where there is a reason to celebrate. So I think about how can you just show up and be like a really great human being for someone. To me, that's what this really is all about. It's making sure that you step outside of the specific asks that you are making of your participants in order for them to fundraise for and show up on your events. This has everything to do with what happens outside of that, so that when the time comes for your event, they're more inclined to show up for you because they know that you really care about them as a person and not just as a participant. So I want to share a few of the tools that I use for this. Um, First of all, it's a stamp. Sorry, I'm a little blurred. So it's just a stamp. It has my name and my address on there. I'm not going to show you what it is, but this makes it fun, right? For me, especially because when I'm writing letters, then I can just put that on there. And again, it's just a simple little tool. But as far as something that impacts the participant or the recipient, I'm very type A. So I have three different kinds of these, and so they're in three different bags. But I have these little cards. They're called little notes. I'm going to get close enough so that you can see. Oh, yes. Okay. So this just says hug. I have another one says It just has a shamrock. And then I have a third one that just has a heart. But sometimes I just drop a little note like this in the mail that just says, I'm thinking of you, or I know today is a hard day, or you can do this, or happy birthday, or here's a hug. And then I'm just going to share a couple of other things. So these are little, this is some participants. I took a photo of them on the bus, and then I wrote them a letter on the back of it and sent it to them after the event. This is one with my coworker. I'm dressed up as her for Halloween, but I sent this to her. I loved these so much that I made copies for myself, and they're living literally on my fridge. But these are just photos from my camera that I then turn into a photo. They can frame them if they want, but ideally I like them to be hanging up on their fridge. But I seek participants out on event and I take photos of or with them and then send a letter as well after the season is over just to let them know that I'm thinking about them. And then, have you guys heard of Sugar Boo? So this says it's the little book of love letters to the world. It's 150 messages to brighten and enlighten. And it just says, um, like sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but you've actually been planted. Like if a participant's going through a particularly rough time, I might write just a little note on the back and just say, I know from our conversation that you're in a very lifey stage of life right now, and I'm thinking about you. Sometimes we're privy to information because we are friends with these people on Facebook, or sometimes we're part of Facebook groups for our event. And so we can see some of the stuff that we're going through. And so that's another example and another way in which you can cultivate your relationship well beyond the event season, right? Especially if you find out these little bits of information from getting a peek into their social life. So they're not groundbreaking concepts, but they're little things that show that you care a whole lot. And I think that it's really important that we do that. So I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson, and I look forward to you watching next time around.